drinking. Why can't you just stop? I don't understand. Why can't you just stop?
I'm Bibba, and this is Adam. We live on the cliffs of Cornwall in the UK. We love to travel with our two children, Tamani and Pablo. Welcome to our world. Like and subscribe for the ups and downs of real life.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Hi.
Right, this is Adam, for those of you who don't know. Adam is my partner and is the addict in my life. He's recently gone through a big relapse, haven't you?
Yeah.
So he's been in and out of recovery for
13 years.
Yeah, 13 years. So it's been a long old stretch. He was sober and clean for 5 years.
Well, the longest period of sobriety I've had was 5 years.
Yeah. But then recently has relapsed throughout the lockdown. I think the lockdown has been difficult on many
Not this
people.
lockdown.
No, sorry, the first one, the March, the UK March lockdown. So when coronavirus first hit. So it's been a bit of a troubled time for us recently. But the camera's backwards. It's weird, isn't it? But we're working through it, and Adam is back in recovery, which is great. How many days are you on now?
25 days.
25 days, so that's great news. But what I wanted to talk about today, having spoken to a few of you kind of separately, I think a recurring thing that's coming up is what we call the 3 C's. So it's that you didn't cause the addiction, you can't control the addiction, and you can't cure the addiction. So if we go through each of those things and just break that down a little bit. So don't be weird. So first of all, you didn't cause the addiction. Now, I used to think that it was all my fault. So when before I kind of realised that there was a problem, and Adam just drank a bit too much, and it wasn't like, everyone drinks.
I drank a lot.
Yeah, but right in the early days, it's like...
Pre-kids, we both drank, but I drank more.
Yeah, but even after kids, I still didn't realise that there was actually a problem. It was just like, we just need to cut down a bit. It'll be all right if he just, if he has a couple of beers or a couple of drinks a night, it's fine. But it soon kind of builds up, and then becomes a problem. That doesn't take long.
Well, it became a problem when you asked me to stop and I couldn't.
Yeah. So that comes onto the control bit, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the cause for me came from where there would be a lot of blame. Adam used to blame me for his drinking. So I didn't show him enough affection. So, there's something wrong with me. So I'm not showing him enough affection. So I need to change that because it's my fault that he's drinking. Therefore, I need to change that. Or that I don't know, what were some of the things you used to blame me for? Just that the house was a mess. Because, we had young kids at that time, and the house, those of you with young children will know that when they come home from work, the house looks like a bomb has gone off because the toddler's been running around. The baby is, not even out of its pajamas, and the kitchen's still a mess. So, it's my fault. I need to work harder because that's causing him stress. Therefore, that's causing him to drink. So that's my fault. All of these things, you're laughing. Is that?
No, I'm not. No, you. No.
So all of these things, it's like, right, it's my fault, so I've got to change it. So what can I do to make it better? So, like, if I keep blaming myself for it, it takes away from anything he's doing. It's really easy for him to keep blaming me because, as classic addiction, as we know, it's all everybody else's fault. So I took on all that responsibility. That was all my fault. I have to change everything that I'm doing in order to stop him from drinking. It was nothing. It wasn't his problem because he kept telling me that it was my problem. I'm the one with the problem. Therefore, so if I asked him to stop drinking, for example, he would say, well, it's not a problem. It's only a problem for you that I'm drinking. It's not a problem for me. And that's what you used to say. And then I'd think, oh, well, yeah, I am the one with the problem then, because I'm causing him to drink. And now I'm asking him to stop. And he's saying that I'm the one with the problem. So that whole cause thing is a big one. But what I have learned since is that we didn't cause it. There's nothing that we do that caused it. They like to blame us, but we can't do anything about it. We didn't cause it at all. So have you got any?
Yeah, I mean, I come at it from the addict's point of view, and it isn't just like, you talk about me blaming you. Like, no, I didn't just blame you. I blamed an active addict. An active addict blames the world.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not specifically you. It would have been the dog, the car, the house, everything. So it's just, when you're in that kind of place, you will blame anything and everything apart from look at your part, in the whole thing. But I now know that, in terms of my addiction, the cause of it is that I'm just mentally and physically not able to drink alcohol, because once I start, I cannot stop.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I can't go to having a quiet beer of an evening, because pretty soon it will escalate into a litre of vodka a night.
Yeah.
I just can't. There is only one cause, and that is that I am an alcoholic. Well, I'm an addict.
Yeah. But initially, it was, it was my fault. That's how I perceived it anyway. So Adam, when we would talk about it, he would blame me. He wouldn't say what he's just said now. He wouldn't say that then. When he was, he had to find something to blame. And that first thing to blame was me. And so therefore, for me, it was all on me. It was all my fault. The whole thing was my fault. So you didn't ever say to me, it's the dog's fault or it's the world's fault. It was, when you're in that place, it's your fault. So I'm just trying to go back to where we were and how it affected us. So it's coming just to learn that you didn't cause it. It's so when your addict, when your loved one blames you for their addiction or that's their reason that they drink, what I do now is, in recent times with Adam's relapse, if he starts blaming me, I will say that is not what you're saying to me, is not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility that you are drinking. I have not caused this. You are doing it yourself. You are pouring that drink down your mouth. I haven't made you do that. So that's kind of how I deal with it. And so I set boundaries for myself, and I very openly say to you, don't I? In recently where you've said to me, oh, again, you don't show me enough affection, and I will say that's not my problem. That's your.
But in all fairness, I haven't said that for a long time.
No, I'm just.
So it's when I'm, it's active. When you're active in addiction, you're selfish, self-centered to the core. Yeah.
So, it's setting those boundaries and saying that you don't, you're not accepting that responsibility from them. So try not to let them blame you, and try not to take that on. That's not your responsibility. And now moving on to control. Control is a big one. We as family members like to try and control the situation. And we do that in many ways, I think. This is a big subject, this one, so I won't go on for ages about it. But control, so trying to control the situation by looking for the bottles, You know they've been drinking. Therefore there are bottles lying around the house. Where are they? I need to find those bottles. Or when you find the bottles, pouring it away. What, you know, that's all a form of control, because you're trying to gain the control of what's going on and what's hurting you, and it's the alcohol that's hurting you, and you know it is. But by pouring it away or by looking for it is not really going to do anything to help them. All it does is hurt us, because we found it. And it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do with it now? It doesn't actually solve anything. It's just that form of control, making you try to control the situation to make it better, and it doesn't have any positive effects at all. And trying to control, I remember things like if we were out at out with friends or whatever, when we were allowed to go out with friends, you know, this was many years ago, at a dinner party or something, and I could see that, or a wedding, I could see that Adam was drinking too much, and I would kind of go to him and say, you need to stop now, you need to stop. And or like we'd leave the party earlier, because I was so frightened of what him getting so drunk was going to do, and how people were going to look at us, and how people were going to judge us, and how people would kind of think, oh God, they're so dysfunctional, they're so, you know, they've got a problem. It was like keeping it all secret, controlling the situation so we can keep it to ourselves, so that we don't have to admit that there's actually anything going on. But by me controlling the situation didn't have any effect on
No, you drove my drinking underground, really.
Yeah.
By that.
Yeah. It makes it a bigger thing, and it takes away.
Well, in some ways, once you tell an addict or an alcoholic they're not to do something, they will want to do it even more.
Yeah.
And then if an addict or an alcoholic then needs to carry on doing something in secret, then the ability to lie and cheat and manipulate gets greater, because if you get away with it once, or you're doing, it's like in for a penny, in for a pound. If you're going to do it, then for me especially, it's like, right, I'll just crack on and try to hide it from everyone.
Yeah.
Even myself.
Yeah, I mean, the manipulation, Adam used to be able to lie and convince himself. He would convince himself all sorts of things, that, you know, he needs to buy this or he needs to do that, and it's absolutely the right thing to do, because he had built up that ability to manipulate everybody around him in order for him to get his kind of fix of alcohol. But then it got to a point where you would absolutely 100% convince yourself of things, thinking full well this is the right thing to do. And it's, you know.
Yeah, but sometimes they're great ideas.
Well, sometimes they're great ideas.
Drinking was never a great idea.
No, that was never the best idea of yours. But the controlling things is a big one for us. And
it's a big one for me as well as the alcoholic or the addict. Is like, I spent my life trying to control my life and the lives of those around me, and actually it's just nobody can do that. And when you realize, or you figure out that you can't do that, that's one of the triggers for me drinking, is that, you know, when I'm in control mode and it's not working out the way I want it to, I end up in pain. And if I'm in pain, I want to shut it out and block it out. That's why I drink.
Yeah. So the controlling, you know, we can't control, and this goes in, not just in addiction, this goes in life. We can't control other people's behaviors. We can't control other people's actions. We can't control anything apart from our own thoughts and our own actions. So nothing that we are going to do or say or actions we take are going to change a situation for the better for us, because we can't control them. You know, we can ask the amount of times, like the arguments that we used to have about, you need to stop drinking. Why can't you just stop? I don't understand. Why can't you just stop? that's just me trying to control it, and it's not going to work, because he has to learn that it's his, I didn't cause it, therefore it's his issue, and he has to solve it, because I can't control his actions, his behaviors, his thoughts, his feelings. He's the only one who can control that himself.
I don't have to solve it. I just have to accept that that's who I am and stop fighting.
Yeah, but as a family member, all we wanted to do was solve and fix your problem, because that's innate in us to do that. But it's learning, it's taking a step back and learning that we don't have control over what they're doing. We can't fix it. We can't solve it for them. Unfortunately, we have to just let them be, let them do what they need to do. If they want to drink, they're an adult. They can do that. That's their choice. They, there's nothing that we can say or do that's going to change that. And addiction is far stronger than us trying to control a situation. And we're never going to, there's no point fighting it. It's only going to hurt us to try and fight it. And that kind of brings us on to the cure side of it. We can't cure it. We don't have any control over it. So how on earth can we cure it? They have to choose that they can cure it themselves. And like Adam said, by curing it is just accepting. That's it. And reaching out for help and getting into recovery. Now that's happened for you recently.
Yeah.
So
like 25 days.
25 days ago. So what was it, not necessarily the circumstances in how it happened, but what was it that went on inside your head to make you flick? Because there was something that went in your head and you were like, I've had enough of this life. I've had enough of drinking. I'm going to go for recovery now.
I've just answered.
Yeah, but what was it? What was it that happened in your head?
I've just had enough. Painful to live like that. Like I said to somebody this morning on Messenger, it's like, like I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock. I came out here, I lit the fire, I sat in the dark without a hangover. I remembered everything that I said last night. Well, pretty much. Everything that I did. I didn't wake up with any remorse or guilt or shame or, and that's the thing is like, I just had enough of living life like that. I just like, it's so tiring. It's such hard work to be an active alcoholic. Mm. That's the thing. And it's just like, I just accepted that, right, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And that was the problem or the issue for me up until that point, was that there were still parts of my mind which were like, maybe I'm not that bad. Like, maybe I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like, even at the end of a bottle of a litre of vodka, all right, tomorrow will be better. I won't do it tomorrow. And then the same again.
Tomorrow, it's that classic, like, tomorrow, I'll fix it tomorrow, but then tomorrow never comes.
And I think I almost reached a point where actually, like, I'm worth more than that. I'm like, for myself, I'm worth more than that. Like, I'm just wasting my life, wasting my potential. Take you and the kids out of the equation, and it's like, actually, I feel like I'm worth more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big one as well. Like, we've got 2 children. They're now 16 and 12. And it's hard for them and me to comprehend and understand that even me and the kids weren't enough to get Adam to make that choice to go into recovery. Nobody can do it, can persuade them, can, like his own children weren't enough to get him to that point. They have to choose it themselves. And nothing no circumstance in the world is going to change that, apart from when something goes in their brain or in their mind, or the decision that they make, or whatever it is. Nothing until that point that they choose that. And that's what people hear about, that rock bottom. And Adam obviously got to that point, and made that choice. Now, this, circumstances were that actually, you've probably seen some of our videos. I did kick him out the day before.
You tried to.
Well, I tried to, but he refused because he said, no, I'm going to do it. But equally, he said that. I've heard that so many times that I didn't believe him. Yeah, no, I'm not having that. But, we're in lockdown. I can't physically remove Adam from our house. So I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? However, you knew that I was absolutely deadly serious. There was not an ounce of, oh, maybe it'll be all right. Maybe he'll stay. Maybe he is telling me the truth. No, I genuinely didn't believe him. And I was deadly serious. He was moving out, and I would continue, making sure that he did without physically removing him because he's bigger than me. But, that was what it got to.
Making me sound like a right beast, isn't it?
Well, you were. You turn into that beast. You were horrible. Sorry.
What am I like when I don't drink? Then?
Yeah, well, he's lovely when he doesn't drink. So
embellish a bit more.
No, Adam, it's not. We're not here to build your ego up. So anyway, we'll leave it there. I hope that's helped. Also, remember on Monday, tomorrow, in fact, and every Monday, I am hosting a virtual coffee morning live on Zoom. To register, I've put the link in the description where we can come together, chat about things. You can ask any questions to me.
I won't be there.
Adam won't be there. It will just be me. And I know there's a couple of people coming, so it will be great just to chat, get to know you all a bit better, and I can share my experiences of things that you're going through, how I work through that, and that kind of thing. But anyway, that's it from us.
Life is actually pretty good today.
Yes, life is good.
So let's not end it on a kind of.
No, it's not. No, life is good.
When yeah.
And remember, you didn't cause it, you can't control it, and you certainly can't cure it. So remember that. Okay, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at the coffee morning. Have a good day. Bye.